Dear viewers, immigration rules are frequently changing, which is very important for migrant community and all of us. Why won't the world tackle the refugee crisis? Are the High Court judges under pressure by government policy? How deporting people silently? Why immigration detention center misbehaves with detainees? Is the immigration enforcement used by government lawfully? How immigrants are victim of domestic violence? What will be the UK relationship with the European Union after Brexit? Fear spreads. Protests across the world. We should know the reality. I try to collect all the latest immigration news regularly. If you like this video, please stay with us to follow my Facebook page and YouTube channel, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share with your friends. Let's go to the news. Immigration levels may still rise after Brexit, says David Davis. Brexit Secretary, David Davis, said some industries depend on foreign workers. David Davis has refused to commit to a cap on EU citizens coming to the UK after Brexit, admitting immigration levels may need to rise from time to time. Nicola Sturgeon out of touch with Scots over Brexit as poll shows support for Theresa May vision. Major new research shows Scots do not want a separate Brexit deal or for free movement to continue. Comment: It's time for some speaking on immigration, says CBI Regional Director Richard Tunnicliffe. As the UK leaves the EU, there will be trade-offs to make when it comes to immigration. Put simply, there are public concerns about immigration, but significant further restrictions to movement will come at a cost to investment and jobs, the delivery of strong public services and economic growth. Unfriendly UK immigration putting off non-EU students. Sector holds out hope for bid to remove international students from net migration. Ever since Theresa May launched a crackdown on bogus colleges while she was Home Secretary, the Prime Minister has developed a reputation for talking and acting tough when it comes to international students. Prime Minister urged to make Premier League footballers exempt from immigration curbs on EU nationals. The Prime Minister was urged on Thursday to make Premier League footballers exempt from immigration curbs on European Union nationals in Brexit Britain. 23 Nigerians deported from UK over immigration offences. The United Kingdom on Friday morning deported 23 Nigerians for various immigration-related offences in the country. PM's TV dodge over divorce bill. Theresa May repeatedly refuses to rule out paying one-off sum to break from Brussels. The PM refused to commit to a significant reduction in immigration post-Brexit. Theresa May said there were many variables that influenced immigration to UK. But she did insist that the UK would see a difference once UK leaves EU in 2019. PM sidestepped questions over whether Britain would be left with a divorce bill. However, she insisted that the UK would maintain its security links with Brussels. Dyson urges foreign student exemption from immigration targets. Sir James Dyson wants the government to welcome foreign students specialising in maths, engineering and science by making them exempt from government efforts to cut immigration. UK visa Tier 2 visa £1,000 immigration skills charge from the 6th of April 2017. A series of changes under the Immigration Act 2016 will substantially increase the cost of applications for Tier 2 visas by employers with Tier 2 sponsorship licenses who allocate Tier 2 certificates of sponsorship on or after 6th of April 2017. The much maligned immigration skills charge was among the UK visa changes. Everything you need to know about post-Brexit immigration in 5 minutes. What will happen to EU nationals who are already in Britain? When will May guarantee residency rights to EU nationals? What about tourists coming from the EU? What will happen to EU immigration? Will certain sectors be more adversely affected than others? Will EU citizens have to apply for the same visas as non-EU citizens? Tory concession: Theresa May's target of cutting net migration to the tens of thousands is all but dead and buried, claim senior Tories. Officially number 10 are sticking by their goal that they will reduce net migration to the tens of thousands. Theresa May's target of cutting net migration to the tens of thousands is all but dead and buried, senior Tories claim. Brexit is teaching the UK that it needs immigrants. Finally forced to confront the economic consequences of low migration, ministers are abandoning the easy rhetoric of the past. May cannot guarantee immigration will be significantly lower after Brexit, as it happened. Rolling coverage of the triggering of Article 50, starting the process taking the UK out of the EU, including Theresa May's statement to MPs, the Article 50 letter, and reaction and analysis. Brexit: UK business groups need to stop lecturing people about benefits of immigration. Trawling out statistics instead of presenting positive solutions has led to a mutual misunderstanding and a dialogue of the deaf, report says. UK says cut-off date for EU citizens' rights will be negotiated. MEPs say Europeans should be able to move to Britain until day of Brexit divorce. Indians account for 57% of UK Tier 2 visas issued to Tier 2 sponsorship license employers last year. According to a report published in the Hindustan Times, Indian nationals secured almost 60% of the Tier 2 skilled worker visas granted by the UK in the year ending September 2016, despite UK visa numbers falling to their lowest levels since 2014. Employers need to have both a Tier 2 sponsorship license and a certificate of sponsorship for each employee they need to employ on Tier 2 visas. The figures were released by the UK government on 23 February. What are the key issues for the Brexit negotiations? The economy, immigration, business, security, defence, health, education, science, the environment, farming and fishing. How tech can help asylum claims, homelessness, and parking fines. The app that helps the homeless find government housing and asylum seekers avoid legal delays with their claims. NHS to fast-track UK nurses to combat record departures of EU staff. Chief Executive of NHS England announces new training programme to grow the workforce from within this country. The NHS scheme aims to increase the number of newly qualified nurses by up to 2,200 more a year in 2019. NHS England is to launch a new nursing training programme to help plug the gap created by the record number of Europeans leaving the health service since the Brexit vote. It shouldn't take an airport blockade to stop mass deportations. The UK's hostile environment for migrants has led to huge numbers of people being detained, mistreated and deported, and enriched private detention providers. On Tuesday night, at least 17 people blockaded the runway at Stansted Airport to prevent a mass deportation to Ghana and Nigeria. Tens of people were due to be deported, including some who have lived in the UK for several years, and others with outstanding asylum claims. For now, the flight has been cancelled, and everyone who was on it remains in the UK. 17 arrests have now been made. Ministers urged to end cruel policy on child refugees' relatives. UK is one of only 2 European countries that denies children granted asylum the right to apply for family to join them. Campaigners are calling on the UK government to allow children who have been granted refugee status to apply for family members to join them. A 30,000-strong petition will be delivered to ministers on Thursday when activists will unveil a giant paper chain linking the Home Office and the Department for Education, the two departments campaigners say are responsible for the policy. Home Office contractor restrains disabled Yarlswood woman by chain. Wheelchair user Loveland Edober says Capita firm escorts, acting to deport her, dragged her like a goat at Heathrow. A disabled victim of trafficking has complained that she was forced into a waist restraint belt and dragged along like a goat when the Home Office tried to remove her from the UK on Saturday. Syrian asylum seekers in UK forced into poverty. Exploited refugees in low-paid jobs live in squalor. Syrian refugees arrive on the Isle of Bute in Scotland. Many asylum seekers in the UK are having to work illegally to survive. Hundreds of Syrian asylum seekers are struggling to survive in the UK, with some facing destitution and others forced into exploitative work because they are afraid of being detained and deported. London shopworker held at detention centre awaiting deportation after 27 years in UK. Sturgeon Jankovic was arrested without warning despite having worked in Britain for years. A shopworker who has lived in Britain for 27 years is facing deportation after being detained by immigration officers. Sturgeon Jankovic, 52, has worked at Earth Natural Foods in Camden, London for 15 years but is currently being held at a detention centre in Dorset while officials attempt to remove him from the country. Thank you for staying with me. See you in the next video.